Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So tomorrow we start the month of June, and for certain beneficiaries of Social Security, that means no payments going out to them in the month of June. So we'll be going over why. Plus, yesterday, 12 angry New Yorkers convicted Donald Trump on all 34 counts, and he is now a convicted felon, or will be at his sentencing date, so we will be going over that as well. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock or $200 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link, is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you'd rather just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the free stock is just sell it for what it's worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so yesterday, as the jury was about to wrap things up for the day, and it looked like things were going to carry over into today, Friday, before the weekend, the jury did come in shockingly with their decision, and unsurprisingly, they came back with a guilty verdict on all 34 counts. The reason I say this should not be all that shocking is the fact that this was held in Manhattan. And in Manhattan, in the 2020 election, Joe Biden, I believe, took around 85% of the vote. This is a very, very blue region. It was never going to be all that fair for Trump. If you just look at things, realistically, even if you're a Democrat, you should realize things were not really going to be all that fair for Trump, that pretty much they could have charged him for anything and it would have come back for a guilty verdict. Just like any Republican should be able to admit that if they had like a trial for Joe Biden in a very red district, like in Texas, for example, it's very unlikely that Joe Biden would be acquitted on any type of crime like that. But according to The Hill here, of course, Trump found guilty on all 34 counts in hush money case. So Donald Trump is the first former U.S. president to become a convicted felon after a jury on Thursday found him guilty on all counts of falsifying business records to conceal alleged affairs during his 2016 campaign. The 34-count conviction deals the most striking legal blow yet to a man who dodged criminal scrutiny for decades, now unable to fend off a guilty verdict in the city that fostered the fame that catapulted him into the nation's most powerful office. Trump's conviction does not prevent him from running for the office of the presidency or returning to the White House should he win in November, but it hurls the country into uncharted waters as he has firmly secured his spot as the presumptive Republican nominee. His July 11th sentencing date comes just 4 days before he is set to officially become that nominee at the Republican National Convention. You have to wonder if that's why they set his date for July 11th. Trump, of course, said this was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be on November 5th by the people, and they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here, Trump said outside the courtroom shortly after the verdict was read. So once again, not a huge shocker here. Manhattan is a very, very blue district, just like if Joe Biden was tried in a very red district in the state of Texas. It would be very hard for Biden to be acquitted. And of course, you look at things like this, and the DA in this case, and Alvin Bragg, basically he ran for his position, basically saying that he was out to get Trump, and that could be a very good reason why he ended up being the DA. And typically how things work is that you find a crime. So you might see someone laying on the street, they were murdered, or someone's house was broken into, and you find the crime. And then once you have the crime, you're looking for the defendant. But in this case, they had the defendant, they were looking for, they already knew Trump was the defendant. So at that point in time, they were just looking for the crime. So they kind of had everything backwards there. And this is something that I'm in complete disagreement with. I don't think that we should be going after those in politics. I don't think they should be going after Joe Biden looking for a crime that Joe Biden did now. This is just setting a very bad precedent for our country. And I don't think moving forward, this is the way that we should be going, that we should be going after political opponents, those running for office. This should not be something that we should continue to go down the line. And very well, if Trump gets elected, in November. It could be a thing where Trump decides to go after Biden. Trump could also decide to go after Obama, Clinton, anyone that tries to go against him. He could now try to seek retaliation because of this. Now, the Hill article goes on to say that Trump could face jail time, but first-time offenders on charges like Trump's are rarely incarcerated. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, whose office brought the case against Trump, declined to say whether prosecutors will seek jail time for the former president, insisting that prosecutors would speak through their court filings in the coming weeks. Now, again, this is a low-level crime, so because it was a low-level crime, typically they would not be facing jail time, and Trump is a first-time offender. And also, the judge so far in Juan Merchan has sort of declined to throw Trump in jail. He had the opportunity to do so whenever Trump was violating his gag order, so maybe that could be a thing where he decides not to throw him in jail either. And at the end of the day, they can say that he's a convicted felon, and they sort of won in the end. And of course, punishments, typically they're decided by certain things like age, if it's like a first-time offender, if they're showing remorse, and Trump is going to have the ability to say whether he's showing remorse for his crime, whether he feels bad for it. And, obviously Trump is not going to come out and say that he feels remorseful, because Trump says that he did not do the crime, and there's strong evidence to show that there's really no crime there. So if Trump does not show any type of remorse, and Trump continues to attack the judge and the jury in this case, it could open the opportunity for the judge to, in fact, pretty much throw the book at him, throw him in jail for as long as he possibly can, according to New York law. So, and of course, it would be pretty much the perfect opportunity for the judge, if he wants to secure like a big book deal, to be the one who actually throws Trump in prison. He would be a very popular judge, at least those for those on the left that really just hate Trump. So we'll have to wait and see. I would not really be surprised either way if Trump is thrown in jail. It would not be a huge shocker to me. Might almost be more of a shocker if he does not serve any time. And honestly, it's just a bizarre situation. Like I said, it could very well open up the door for future convictions. This is the first time that it's happened. And before, it was like we would not go after current or former presidents. And it pretty much could mean the same. Like, if Trump gets elected, is he going to go after Biden now? Is this going to be something that we continue to see for years down the line? And it's a very bizarre situation. We're going to have like the Secret Service also in jail, sitting in a prison cell with Trump. Just a really, really weird situation, and a very sad day for the country. Now moving into our main story of today's video. And first off, we're going to say is that today, certain beneficiaries of Social Security SSI recipients are going to be receiving their second payment this month in May. That's because tomorrow, June 1st, is falling on a Saturday. And anytime the first of a month falls on a Saturday, a Sunday, or a holiday, recipients of SSI end up receiving their payment one day earlier. That's why you're receiving 2 payments in the month of May if you're on SSI. But that also means that you're not going to be receiving any payments whatsoever in the month of June. So this payment today is not like a bonus payment. You're not going to be getting a payment today, 2 payments in May, and then also a payment in June. This payment today is just your payment coming one day earlier. So according to News Nation, no June payment for some Social Security recipients. So millions of Social Security recipients will see a change in their monthly payment schedule. Typically, the Social Security Administration sends out supplemental Social Security income payments to those with disabilities and older adults who have little or no income on the first of each month, but since June 1st falls on a Saturday, the payments will be sent on Friday, May 31st, according to the schedule of payments. The change in schedule doesn't mean those recipients will receive an extra payment. It only means their June payment will come one day earlier, resulting in 2 SSI payments in May and no payments in June. And this is going to be something that you also see similar later on this year. We're also going to have 2 payments for SSI recipients in August, 2 payments in November, and then also 2 payments in December as well. So we're going to have these double payments once again happening 3 more times later on this year. But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.